Good evening, everybody. We have great news. The extremely racist Supreme Court decision, affirmative action, has finally been overturned. It has been 25 years with this terrible Supreme Court decision, and we finally have this racist piece of legislation out thanks to Donald Trump and his amazing Supreme Court justice picks. So, several things to get out of the way. Is this racist? Yes, obviously. This is obviously an instance of anti white racism, the most common type of racism in this country, and obviously the most popular and the most mainstream racism in this country. And we've successfully taken it down. This was meant by people who wanted to put white people down. It was created by people who hate white people, since there is a lot of anti-white racism in the Democratic Party, and it worked quite well for them. It did do a good job of hurting white people, but it's being taken away, and my apologies. The So there's several things I want to talk about. First, affirmative action was meant as a reparation for slavery. The idea was Black people were enslaved, so we'll give them reparations in the form of better access to job and better education for a certain amount of time. No one who advocated for affirmative action to become a thing wanted it to be permanent. They all wanted it to be a temporary thing, a temporary Supreme Court ruling. So, granted, this doesn't really make sense considering how it was used, because not only was it used far more longer than when it should have been. Granted, it should have been never put into place, but no one who put it in place said that it was going to last any anywhere near 25 years. So, but it also didn't make sense because there were Mexicans who just crossed the border and just got into the US who were jumping onto affirmative action and getting great jobs, which truly doesn't make any sense because since they were never enslaved, white people don't owe any reparations to them. And on that point, why do we still have people like Joe Biden advocating to give Black people financial reparations as in the form of money, as in a white tax? It doesn't make any sense because they already got reparations. The reparations were as reparations for a limited time, what was supposed to be much less than 25 years. They would get better access to jobs than white people, and they would get better access to education than white people. They would be treated better than white people for a limited time as reparations for slavery. I don't think reparations ever should have happened. I think reparations are ridiculous on the face. And I think ever doing anything regarding reparations is a terrible idea. We never should have done affirmative action. But lamentably, we did. It was awful. And it lasted a lot longer than how long the Democrats said it would last. And we should have never let it happen in the first place. So we have wonderful news. They've finally gotten rid of it after 25 terrible years. And I think white people and Asians will be celebrating all over America. This one certainly is. And the polls have come out. Not only do the majority of Republicans support this decision to end affirmative action, but the majority of Democrats agree with it as well. So we have great news. Something great has finally happened. And for once in a very long time, once within our very corrupt state, the good guys won and the bad guys lost. Okay, well, I got out a quick news point today, and I'm hoping to get out another one this Monday. I know I've talked about this a lot and it hasn't gone very well, but eventually I would like to get to the point where I'm uploading one video every weekday. I know I am not very good at accomplishing these sorts of things, but that's what I'm aiming for. So anyways, goodbye. Talk